Hello, Robert. I was also setting up DOS 622 today. I hope your setup went better than mine, because I'm apparently so tired. I'm incapable of doing more than 5 different DOS installs, which is something that I needed to do. Which is the reason I decided to do the stream, is because I realized I'm tired to the point of not being able to think. And I was in the mood to shoot things. Yeah, I bet that runs DOS nice. That seems like a very like a very good configuration. Please let me know if the game is too quiet, or if I'm too loud, or if I'm too quiet, anything like that. I'm gonna wait a little bit. This is an impromptu stream. I am fairly well, thank you very much. Just a bit tired. Was working on more DOS nostalgia content, but haven't managed to finish anything yet, so... Put the Sunblast Live card in it and got the DOS drivers. Good! However, which kind of a live card? One of those value PCI cards? I mean, I also got one. Also relates to the video I was working on today. I mean, it should say it on it. The music is from the game, Weston Campbell. It's a tracker music in, I believe, X3M. Hello, everybody. Pulse Clock Phantom. Never heard of this game. This is a new build engine game. It's not out yet. You can buy this preview campaign. I think it's coming out in the second quarter of this year. Robert, if it's a real live, then it's a little bit better because it has a chance of, I think, still having an OPL 3 clone on it, which sounds fairly nice. Check it out. The one that I have, the one that's value card, it has emulated FM chip, and does not sound too great. I mean, sometimes it sounds good, and sometimes not so good. I'm gonna actually do a comparison in the future. All of it is coming. It's funny how all this stuff is coming up. Alright, one more minute, and then we'll start playing. Probably we'll start playing badly. Trust me, I'm not that bad at PC shooters, at the first-person shooters normally, but I am tired, I'm drinking, it's late, and I'm also looking at the chat. But nice to see all you. Thank you for showing up to the impromptu stream. I need to start planning streams more, but they so far only seem to come up in situations like this when I feel like I'm working on something, I'm incapable of doing anything else anymore. I'm like, let me do a stream. What are you drinking? I am drinking bullet bourbon with Pepsi because I am trash. Don't let me drink more than 2 glasses today. Alright, I think it's good. Let's start a new game. Okay, so it's recently, I think just a week ago, this demo has been updated with another level, which is this one's Haskell House of Horrors, but we'll start with the beginning, Chris in Colombia. I am gonna start on a lesser difficulty because you know, I'm gonna try to read the chat, and the game is fairly old school, so it's easy to get killed if you're not looking. All right.
Come on.
So as you can see, it's a good old build engine game, except it's hardware accelerated, and which you can disable, but I wouldn't recommend it because this is a lot more detailed and a lot more just a lot more detailed, and your PNMs back in the day of Duke Nukem 3D wouldn't be able to handle this, and we'll see why and how. There's also a technical video explaining a lot of aspects of it online, which is fairly interesting. It's very high res, yes, the resources are about double. There are, I think the enemies and everything are done at the resolution that was like, I guess Redneck Rampage like Redneck Rampage targeted the SVGA. And yeah, so all the sprites. They're still kind of blocky, just aesthetically, on purpose, but you'll see. There's quite a lot of new features and stuff. So this is using the eDuke 32. But yeah, so let me know if the volumes are off or anything, but here I go.
Damn it. Another way out.
Oh. I thought you could break this. Oh well. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm already terrible. But yeah. So it looks like they also made these enemies a little bit brighter, because that was one of my original complaints in this demo, that the enemies sort of blended into backgrounds a little bit. But yeah, so as you can see, there's a lot of just sort of effects and multiple objects that were like, you know, it wouldn't be very economical to do back in the day. So this is a very much a modern build engine game. You can push chairs, like in this old Doom WOD called Hacks. I don't know if anybody remembers that. And of course, there's all those effects, like look at the additional layers, like on the floor, of course, is all just flat textures and such, so are these, but they are used for these very dramatic effects. I absolutely loved it. This is the traditional build engine bridges that are made out of sprites.
Say my name.
And here we're introduced to this new, to the cool weapon that takes a little bit to get used to, but then becomes indisposable. It's the homing bombs. You'll see, because I'll be throwing one around the corner right now.
Clean up on aisle your ass.
So yeah, if they don't explode, you can actually grab them.
Nice.
Bowling ball, it's called, I guess. There's a secret over there. We'll be coming back to it in a second. Yeah, this is very much Duke Nukem.
This is my boomstick. Nice.
There's some jumping puzzles. I can already tell there's probably something there, but there's like a few secrets. Like, I see one right here, actually. So, but before we go there, let's get another secret. It was fairly obvious in the previous room. Let's get one of those chairs. Where are they? Just push it all the way over here. The pistol sounds pretty good in game. I don't know, maybe it's a stream. I like the sort of dust-like screens here. All the extra particle effects. So we've already picked up a whole bunch of
I
new
spray,
weapons in
you
secrets.
pray.
And huh. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the ladders are very different from other build engine games that had them. In fact, they're fairly usable, unlike, let's say, Shadow Warrior or Redneck Rampage. And by the way, like, this is a shortcut to another part of the level. The levels here are sort of a bit hub-like. You can actually go back and forth. And I could just cut half the level and come from the other side, but I really don't want to. So we're gonna continue in our normal. Oh yeah, you can kick jibs like in Blood. And of course everything is interactive, just like it used to. And you see another level has loaded up. And now we're in a very sort of build engine like city. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, if I took that other ladder, I would have ended up over here.
All blocked. Plan B. GDF office. Boom!
There's also those turrets. Probably should be using so many bombs, but they're plentiful in game. How do you make the explosions part? I had nothing to do with this game, so I didn't make it. I'm only playing it. Of course, in a good old tradition, you can destroy everything. Decals and things. It's pretty impressive. It's very nice to see a modern build engine game. But, it's really okay, of course. I know there's like a platforming secret here. I'm not too fond of platforming in the old first-person shooters, but let's see. This seems to work reasonably well. There's another one of those sprite-based room over room things. Where are they?
Assembly required.
Interesting. I don't know nothing about guns, so. But I like the sound of it, and you know. It's a cartoon. By the way, later the level continues like all the way over here, which I find really nice. This is very much a Dookie game. Dookie? Yeah, very much a Duke Nukem inspired. Alright, so there's additional enemies here. Let's do it. Also very generously auto saves for you. There's a new enemy. Oh boy. Okay. I love how much effort went into this. Like, I love build engine games to begin with, but seeing, like, you know, each build engine game built on the previous one, sort of. So seeing a game that sort of exceeds those things is very fun to me. It takes years of experience into consideration. Improves on a lot of the concepts.
Oh yeah.
I think they're saying second quarter of this year. Like, for example, right, very modern thing, there is no projectile. I mean, there is no hit scanning weapons. Like, that's one thing we realized was not particularly great about old shooters. Hit scanning, you know, they just replace with fast projectiles or whatever. Yes, this is a new game, and it's the first time I'm streaming a new game, so... Okay. Come on.
I never miss.
Oh, so this starts happening. That's weird. I don't remember little fires lighting up. I don't know if it's a glitch or whatever. Good old penthouse too. Okay, so there is a secret you can get. I don't know why I'm doing this. Yeah, remember when I was down there? Ah, yeah. Fun stuff. We get there is. Oh, there's. There it is. Cool. That's not the secret. Yeah, why is there a restriction of fire? That might be some kind of a script glitch, or it's been added in a new version. Not quite sure what's going on there. But a lot of those offices, and of course, as every good build engine has security cameras. This elevator just blew up. What the hell? Hope someone makes it. I guess me too. Me and you both.
Are you on your knees yet?
Hey, dual wielding. Mini elevator. Hey, medkit. Can I also open it? No, I can't. Ooh. Hey, light switch. Also very Shadow Warrior-y. Well, in Duke too, but like in Shadow Warrior, there are like light switches everywhere. It's pretty funny. Straight. Oh yeah, the thing shocks you if you don't have the right key card.
Gotcha.
So I could play this game on my retro box since it uses the build engine. No, you cannot. It's very hardware demanding. Just because it uses an old engine doesn't mean it complies to all the rules of the yesterday. It's much more complex than any build engine game. In fact, you need a pretty good machine to generally play it. Oh, come on. That's the right key. There's a guy now. Someone tried. I know people who can't even run this game on a modern machine. Never mind trying for access grant.
You should let me inside the basement.
So now I can go down. And this one level is almost over. This was all one level. The animations. Come on. Enemy hitbox is a little bit weird, but it's okay. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just done a new version or something, but
No, you gotta keep
the
it
bombs
separate.
used to be quite better. Maybe just me. Again, I'm tired. I don't know. But again, if they're not used, you can pick them up again, which I think is a nice touch. Oh yeah, this is a broken elevator. I'm sure this is a secret of some kind. Yes, it is. Woo. This game has so many secrets, and some of them are so, well, I'd say extreme, I guess. Yeah, we're supposed to come up over here. Oh no, this is it. Yeah, like you can push a chair like all the way to here. Yeah, I'm missing 12 secrets. Again, to drink.
So much for the express elevator to hell.
This is another part of this level. Oh, I guess this is technically a different level. Let's save. Come on.
Swallow this.
Do I really just not have any weapons? Yes, I do. Okay. Oh well. Wait.
Yeah.
Love the music in this.
Oh, you throw quite a party.
Computers. It's kind of like what Duke Nukem Forever. Does tab show the map overview? Of course it does. This level also introduces one of those. Oh, I didn't realize it was a ladder. Oh, it's not a ladder. Hey, level design. The annoying, the obligatory tiny enemy. Oh no, that's not what I was thinking of. Oops. That little skull guy is what I was thinking of. Don't like them. Don't like
Nice.
crawly enemies.
Oh my god, the quarterback is toast.
Some one-liners, of course. Oh gosh, who shouldn't? Give me some ammo. Okay, like these bombs are like missing completely now. What's happening? Will it have a map editor? It already has a map editor. It's a eDuke 32 map editor. This is made by the people who've been working with the build engine for forever. They know what they're doing. And yeah, here we go. Here's the annoying enemy with a close range attack.
Oh, I don't think that's covered under warranty.
No sense of wasting your bullets. One hit with your baton makes him explode, but they are very annoying. Generally not a fan of those, but, you know. Slugs, alien slime in Duke 3D, the hands in blood. What else? You know, those sort of things.
Subway maintenance area right around the corner.
Hey, just clip through a ceiling. Oh well. Check for secrets. Game Forever came out years ago. Yes, sadly. Sadly. I don't think there's any need to discuss anything about Duke Nukem Forever, to be honest with you.
about
another
some
level.
action?
I do love those details. Obviously a shortcut. We're not gonna go there. Maybe we should, I don't know. I'm yet to get killed by a door in this game. I never played it, but watched someone play it on video. And that's probably for the best. Oops. I don't know if this weapon's been made more powerful since I played those guys.
Nothing there.
I was hoping they'll allow me to do that. Love those things. The very buildy stairs. Just generally, lots of attention to detail in this game. Just extraordinarily mediocre. I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can legitimately say which parts of it are bad, and yeah, it is just mediocre. But it's also annoying, which to me is kind of worse. It's not that bad. I guess maybe it's not Blood 2. It's not that bad. I really miss this classic sort of build style level design, and I'm glad that this game brought this back. I really miss that in games. Modern first-person shooters mainly just disappoint me. Yes, even the Doom 2016, whatever year that game came out. I like a lot about that game, but overall, not my thing. Still don't know how to get there. I know it's a secret.
Now you gotta keep them separated.
Baton, other than that, is pretty much useless. The resurgence, listen, I don't care if Doom 4 captured the spirit of the original. I really don't care if anything captures the spirit of the original. I have the originals. I don't need anything to capture the spirit. It just, I found a lot of the mechanics annoying. That was my big issue. I like the speed of movement. I was very impressed that the game was moving as fast as it did. It's really cool. I was happy that the whole game was built on movement. Like, I was playing Ultra Violence, and you basically had to move, otherwise you'd be dead. But I didn't like the finishing system. I mean, the animations are cute and everything, but I just, after a while it got old, and they tied it into the game, and I like it. I like that sense that you had to move and had to kill enemies. For there to be, you know, like to get ammo and health. I like how those systems were tied together. Of course, there's this one on me taking a dump. In the style of all the best build engine games. But yeah, overall, I thought it was lacking. Come on. There is this thing that is essentially secret, I guess, and just like in a 90s shooters, going backwards. But that's how you can push things. Come here. Come here.
All Oh, you throw quite a party.
Have you played Brutal Doom? I have played Brutal Doom, yes. Not a fan. Vladislav Gonzalez, Ion Maiden is the name of the game. Oh, look, there's armor in there. Probably have plenty to begin with, to be honest with you. Let's see if I can get it. Ah! Come on.
Some assembly required.
When they become activated in their death animations, I like how... Nope, I don't know. What this game costs? I don't know, it's not out yet. I don't know, 20 bucks? Worth it. Right now it's only a demo. I guess let me save just in case something crashes.
What the hell is going on up there?
I'm thinking a good old style of Shadow Warrior and the like, the tunnel collapses behind you. Come on.
Nice.
Hate those hits. Where are you?
Boom!
Okay. Have you seen Project Warlock? That sounds familiar. What is Project Warlock? Refresh my memory.
Sure.
I already know
Let's
this is
dance.
a trap, so... Oh god! Come on. Oh, why did I do that? Ooh. Wow. That kid. Oh, that was terrible.
Nice.
Screw you. I do love how this is, these like little drops. So many little touches in this game. Oh, and I guess we're at the boss. Before I go to the boss, which can be hard sometimes, depending on it, I just want to show up all those little details here, the storefronts and such. Enemies net better AI. I'm fine with this AI. This is very much a classic walk forward, go to the side. Yay, build engine!
DC might be done for, but I'm not.
Okay, so let's say, because sometimes I'm having trouble with that boss. It seems to be pretty random. They're giving you a bunch of weapons. Like, yeah, what happened with the bombs? Like, they used to have such a big blaster. I hate doing this. Like, why would I waste it? Alright, either way. Let's save. And let's do... Let's get to the boss. Here it is. The good old tradition of build engine bosses. It just hits a lot. Like a lot. It has those annoying projectiles. Whoa! Okay, shouldn't have done that. Credit from Wolfenstein and Hexenthron. So Wolfenstein, I already don't like the Wolfenstein connotation. Listen, I like Wolfenstein. I think
I'm gonna kick your shiny metal ass.
and that's cool and all, but like those, we've seen a bunch of those corridor style shooters come back, and that whole concept of corridors I don't like. I think that is like, while this style holds up really well, I don't think the Wolfenstein corridor shooter does.
Bring it on.
Woo! Okay, so that's that level. So this was, for longest time, was the only level in the demo. That's the one I played a bunch of times, and now there's this additional level that I've only played once before. So let's see how this goes. How's everybody doing this evening? Or morning, depending on where you are. I do enjoy what there is of this game.
I am the one who knocks.
Not particularly crazy about this gun. I hope they fix it, because... And this level has a lot of those...
You throw quite a party.
Not a fan.
I've got a present for you. The Putin machine.
Oh yeah. Whoa, yes, there's these new enemies. Woo! Yeah, I forgot about it.
This is my boomstick. Say my name.
One-liners from quoting one-liners from movies is just as useless as it was in Duke 3D.
Nice.
I love me some music. Secrets. The game looks. I'm waiting for. Yeah, I am also waiting for the new release. That's fun.
Oh my God, the quarterback is toast.
Don't get it, but that's okay with me. secret? Anything opens up? No. Shame. There's a door. Hey! Again. Hate those little buggers.
Clean up on aisle.
Breaking
your
Bad,
ass.
yes, there's some Breaking Bad stuff going on.
I've got a present for you.
I guess say my name. Hey, pizza.
Is that a hamster?
Oh no! Is that a Maniac Mansion reference? Oops. Well, that worked.
We're done when I say we're done.
Oh. I actually was always a fan
Dance, fucker, dance.
of quiet music in first-person shooters. Like this is more up my alley than like sort of actiony stuff, like a methodical. Okay, zap myself in a good old build tradition. Oh, I think there's an object on the way. Hey. Quarterback is just from Die Hard. The armored car. Huh, don't remember that. I just rewatched it. On Christmas, just like everyone should.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, there's this nice outdoorsy area. Oh yeah, there we go. There's more enemies. Oh God! No, oh no, no. Stop glitching. Ooh. That's not so bad. Okay, how am I supposed to blow up the thing to its secret? Now that things will blow up. Whoa! Don't quite want to drop yet. Let's shoot some things. Okay, what was this?
Nice.
The damage system is different, a bit of an adjustment. Yes, I know I suck, but you know. Yeah, and like, don't hit anybody. Just
I never miss. Fire in the hole, assholes. Oh, what is this? Haskell's House of Horrors?
Come on. There we go. Context-sensitive grenades, accept no substitutes. Always like the weird one of blood. Yes, blood is really good. If it wasn't so brutally difficult in the beginning and unfriendly to just generally any beginners, I'd say it is pretty much the best full dungeon game. Maybe even the best DOS first-person shooter, to be honest with you. The pistol works wonderfully. I don't know why he tried so hard to rely on other weapons.
Oh yeah.
This is just fine. Get to drink. Let's save because I'm not that good. Camera, can you blow up like in Duke? Nope. Well, in Duke it was also an optional parameter, right? You had to edit it and it was disabled by default. Right, now let's see what's down there. It's probably a fireplace, but there's some grenades. Those guys! What weapons do I have? Just this. So this is to the outside. Did I not pick something up? Like I have no weapons to speak of. This is fairly annoying. Dynamite is great, which is very necessary. Alright, so okay. I know there's a secret. Last time I found one of those unending bomb bonuses somewhere. I let myself just get killed. It's pretty weird. What was it?
Holy shit!
Oh, yes, there it is. Bowling bomb, but this was supposed to be a bonus.
Now
really,
you gotta keep them separated.
Wow. Oh! Well, that happened.
Eye spray.
I do give you weapons. That's good. For some reason I missed that. And now there is no yellow bomb. What is happening? Like you can send there's these turrets. And these guys, they suck. Stay away from turrets. This guy's changed his weapons. Like this? What? Blow up the turret. Silly thing. I guess I cleared this out. I like how the elements of the scenery blow up to reveal additional stuff. Oh yeah. Now, this game is worth picking up. Even the 2 levels that are included in the demo I thought were very worth it. Very much worth it. So, I'm waiting for the full game to come out.
Now you gotta keep them separated.
Do love those cameras, those engine cameras. Light. Always like that in video games. Locked. Go to the Caleb was locked. least I'm gonna pick up a key. Hey. And something awful is gonna happen.
I never would have guessed.
That's pretty funny. Oh. Oh no. Really? Oh, breaking annoying. Come on.
Where does he get these wonderful toys?
Okay. Oh gosh, this is very 90s when just quoting something was considered cool. Like, hey, that's not humor. It's literally just referencing something in exactly the same way is not. I'm sorry, it's not jokes. Most of Duke Nukem quotes are not jokes. They're just, you know, quotes. Oh. Whoa,
Wow.
It's a dog. I hate memes. Did I ever mention that? I hate memes. I don't know why I'm looking there. The chat is there, but the camera's over here. The system requirements are higher than what we would expect. Like I said, this is a fairly involved game. Such secret. That's funny. Uh-oh. Ah, again? How many? Ooh, chain gun. Oh no. Okay. Where are you? Ooh, it's those guys. Hate them. Okay, I tried selecting this weapon before and it didn't select. What? Obviously there's some things that have to be fixed. I didn't notice that many issues before. None of the times I've played it. I don't know if it's a new or I'm just playing badly this time. There's also Dopefish, which I think I missed. Oh, Dusk had a Dopefish, that's right. But I'm sure this had a Dopefish as well somewhere. Oh, whoa! Okay, you know what? I'm starting to save scum.
Are you on your knees
Yay.
yet?
And which area was locked out before? Did I have to come back with the red key? Oh. I guess right here. Nice. Oh, whoa. Come on. Try and jump on the rope. Come on, how do I pull? Pull something, jeez. Come on. No! I want to know what's in the secret! Can I push stuff around Duke 3D? Nope. Not by default anyway. It's like all in the scripting. Come on now, what's happening? Oh my gosh. I'm afraid to like shoot the storage chair. No. That's a gay. Okay. Come on, I want to move the chair there. What? This stream is so exciting. I bet it is. Oh no. Is there anything in this room? Can I push this thing? Lamp. Pixar lamp. Yay. Okay, I should have done that from the get-go. Shotgun to the face. still don't know what any of those enemies sound like. So like when I hear the enemy alert sound, I don't quite know what to think. I don't think I want to.
I really needed that.
Did I really need that? And I have 0 med packs. Save again. Yeah, it's on number 5. I'm not so used to it because 5 is usually a rocket launcher, but whatever. Okay. Alright. Aha. Alright, good now. Something tells me this is gonna be...
Isn't this a bit excessive?
Oh wow. I like this. This is cool. Oh no! Oh no 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 no! Oh no no no! This is a cool concept. Why haven't this been done before? I mean, there's kind of like this moment in Quake, right? In the first Quake. Yes, yes, that one. The dismal will do that. Something tells me this is gonna be like a massive attack. Break-in ammo! Come on. As long as it's not their brothers, which is those things. Ooh. Oh gosh. Oh, this is a rocket launcher. Oh, I don't want it. I'm in close quarters. Exit. Alright. I did like that elevator. I did like the elevator action. Alright, and that's the demo of Ion Maiden. I was going to say Iron Maiden. It's Ion Maiden. And I like this screen a lot, because it's very reminiscent of that register your shareware screen. I like playing, and remember, I played on like default difficulty, not on the the harder ones, which are more enjoyable. Yeah, this is the sort of the non-sponsored commercial. I have paid money for this game, and I personally like it. Yes, it's not an old DOS game, but it certainly shows a lot of promise. Alright, so this lasted for only slightly over an hour. So 2 levels, over an hour. I feel there are, you know, like the 10 to 12 levels in a full game, I feel like that probably is very much justified in the length. Like, I'd rather have more quality over quantity. You know, back in the day, all the shareware shooters tend to pack the more interesting stuff in the first episode, and then the rest was not so great, or just not as good. I'd rather have like a dozen of just like well-designed levels. Do you like turn-based tactics game like Final Fantasy Tactics? It depends. I haven't played Final Fantasy Tactics, but I do like stuff like XCOM and Jagged Alliance. It depends. I'm really weird. I like Battle Isle, I guess, and that is turn-based tactical stuff. Used to play a lot of Panzer General back in the day, but so also I just noticed there's so much dithering on the screen. I don't know if it shows up on the stream, but this is intentionally. I should unpack those resources and take a look, because this looks like it's an 8-bit painting. It's an 8-bit image. Never noticed so much dithering on the title screen, but very nice touch. So I'm just gonna sit here. I don't know if anybody has any requests or any questions about Das Nostalgia or just stuff in general. Here I am. I'm actually finishing my drink. I'm gonna go get myself another drink maybe. Didn't realize it's only gonna take me an hour, but for a demo, for a short demo. Granted, back in the day those things were free. This is essentially early access, so you buy the demo and then you don't have to pay any extra money for the game. Those things have changed. Remember when the third and probably the best part of a full game was given away for free? Wasn't that crazy? You mentioned the devs were veterans of the build engine. Do you know anything else? Not really. It's the Egypt 32 team. Void Point. Their company is now officially called. They call themselves Void Point. So take a look. And of course, it's being published by 3D Realms, which are like 3D Realms in name only. They're, I think, Swedish company? No, not Swedish, but oh, I forget. Dutch company. But it's Frederick Schreider. But Scott Miller still works for them, and I guess some other people. Side, hi all, hello. I've just finished what I was playing. I wish they make a fantasy themed game like Hexen, but plays more like Duke. There is one. It's called a medieval. Yes, a medieval. It's also in early access. I guess I can show a little bit of that too. Why not? Oh, I know. Okay, so I guess I'm not gonna show a little bit of that. Now you get some DOS nostalgia behind the scenes. But not good. You don't like a medieval? I actually really like a medieval. It's not very classic style, but oh no, I thought old gaming mentioned. Alright, let me show them medieval. Where is it? Oh, I don't even have it installed for some reason. Well, let's install it. Talk to me about DOS games while it installs. One thing I do like about the medieval, well, not one thing, I like a bunch of stuff about the medieval, is that it does some really cool stuff with visuals. It's old school, but in a completely different way from, like, it's not sprite, it's not old school in Ion Maiden way, it's not old school in Dusk way. It sort of does this sort of 90s extremely sharp low-res texture thing. There's a lot of effects that really haven't been done before to give you an illusion of old school style, while that old school style really never existed. Like, its weapons, I only noticed on my like 5th time trying on normal mapped sprites that have reflections on them. You don't notice it while you play it, but if you look at it, you're like, oh wow, that's really cool and really funny, and I don't think if anybody has done that before. But yeah, I might as well do that. Actually, while this is installing, let me go grab a drink. BRB lol. Okay, I'm back. I guess. Let's see here. How do I look? Terrible. Okay. Alright, let's play some medieval. God, medieval. Oh no. What happened? Let me know if the game is too low or something, the sound. It's kind of low on my end. I don't know if I should... Let's start from the beginning.
It came from the age.
Who cares? Skipping! So, yeah, this is sort of Heretic and Hexen, but plays like Duke. It's neither. In a sense, it doesn't play like any of those games. It's its own classical style shooter that doesn't really emulate anything in particular, which is something I really like. Like, look at this. Look at the weapon for a second. This game is reminiscent of Heretic and Hexen visually and in setting, but not in any other way. So it's a new old school. It's like if another game of a different style came out in the 90s, that would have been it, because it has a lot of sort of old school design philosophies in it. It's a normal mapped sprite, yes, like look at it. Like, it's crazy. I thought they were 3D until I was like playing for like 2 hours. And I was like, wait a second there. There's melee combat and everything, but yeah, like I said, it doesn't really emulate anything in particular. It takes some inspirations from old games, but it's really its own thing, which is cool. Yes, it's a sprite. It's a sprite with a normal map of a thing, which is why the lights reflects of it correctly, because it's a normal map on a sprite. It's crazy to me that they did that. For all of you Hexen, easy difficulty, less enemies, more pickups. All right, let's do normal.
Save our lives.
So it's basically what the original Quake could have been, like the Hammer medieval Quake, possibly, I guess. Yeah, I guess that would have been more like it. And I don't know how it comes through in the stream, but look at the textures. So they're non-mid-mapped, low-res things. And it gives it this very sort of like in-between 90s high-res software render and like PS1 sort of look. It's hard to it's hard to sort of describe it, because my stream I'm streaming off the laptop, and it sort of squishes it to 720 30 frames, but I don't know if it, but I love those normal maps. I mean, look at the look at the axe, and yet it's a sprite. Like, this is incredibly cool to me. And because there's no texture filtering or anything, but there's still low res, it gives everything that weird sheen. And it has that wobbly filter. Not quite Quake level, but cool. Something you don't see because it actually distorts the actual image versus polygons. My talk of polygons bores some people, I'm sorry. It's very fast-paced and actually really hard. This is obviously the beginning area, and I'm already lost half my health. There's melee as both as ranged attacks. Yeah. Today, I guess my stream was a commercial for new games that feel like old games. Yeah, those are your inspirations from Heretic, obviously. And these are sprites, obviously. Talk to me, people. I don't know what to do during the stream. Ask questions or something. Woo. Get out. What happened? I can't get out. Help. Oh, God. Yes, this new wave is of old school shooters is, yeah, there's more Heretic. And later it gets more hexamy, so like stylistically, not even stylistically, I guess setting wise, it takes a lot of cues from these games. But not in the way combat is structured, which is in a way is nice to me because I always sort of appreciate something new. This game actually does feel like something new. Like it's being billed as a retro shooter, but to me, it's really not. Like, it's retro only in the style it has no cutscenes and it's level progression and buttons and goals and sort of like you destroying enemies, but in that sense, I guess it's retro, but it's really just a new... There are alt-fire modes. Here's the thing, you sort of save up the energy if you see the mana on the right, and there's something on the bottom of my health. One of those meters fills up, and then you get to do an alternate attack. Yes, it's retro, but it's more to it than just being retro. Yeah, that's right. It's not a gimmick. This game sort of finds its own identity, and I really, really like that. Basically, it's old school level design philosophy and enemy design philosophy, but the game itself is new. Also, it's hard. Oh, here we go. Here I filled up my meter. Now I get like a sort of a. I get a boost. Quad damage, I guess. Well, not quad damage. I'm distracting myself by talking about this game as much as I do. Yeah, you like collect the souls too, so that fills up the meters. I'm supposed to go over there. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, so anyone, so it's funny, I only play this because you mentioned, so a game that feels like Heretic and Hexen but plays like Duke. This is very much it. I don't know if those were the that's what the pitch for that game was like, probably not. But yet it's that game. And again, I'm playing introductory levels that are actually super easy, but I also love the visuals, and there's so much variety later on. I finished the first episode, and I stopped somewhere in the second episode. It has like 5 episodes listed, so very much what it's. And I love those non-filtered texture looks. It gives it a look. Again, it's old school because it's unfiltered, but yet what game looked like this back in the day? No game looked like this. And of course I do recommend Dusk. I would have played Dusk guess I could have, but I sort of don't want to do it on stream. Dusk is really good. Just if you haven't played Dusk, do it. It's like Quake and Build Engine. Had a baby, but in a sense it's even better because, you know, like all the best stuff in all those games and shareware games, like I said before, was like in the shareware episode. In Dusk, the level design keeps reinventing itself. It's very old school, but yeah. And look at the visuals. I know I keep using just one weapon, but this is like, trust me, all the weapons are useful. This is fairly well designed game. I like it. Gets my seal of approval. This does some mad things with visuals. See, my thing with Dusk, it's visuals, although I enjoy its really low poly, like, fake Quake 1 look, I almost wish it didn't do that, because that sort of overshadows a lot of other things with Dusk. I like its design philosophy, its return to old school level design, and so many reviews are gonna pay attention to the low poly, like jokey low poly visuals that I just don't know. I sort of feel, I don't know where to go. I'm talking about Dusk now. I sort of feel that it overshadows what the better. To me, Dusk is not about visuals. Dusk is not about. Oh yeah, now I need the second key. I never got this key. So yeah. To me, Dusk is all about levels and enemy design, and every review mentions the look and everything, but I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, Dusk is incredibly impressive to me. Dusk is great. Dusk is the return to the old school, because while it's mainly just a repeat, I guess, in a way, it doesn't, like, unlike this game, it doesn't reinvent itself. It takes those old designs and does a lot of very, very interesting things with them. Crap. Did I not pick up the key in here somewhere? I guess I did pick up the key. Did I not pick up the key in the other part? Right, so I went through there. Went down. Here. I messed up something here. This open. Fire upon the red one. Oh, okay. Duh. Yeah, everybody who already played through Dusk full version knows what I'm talking about, but I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil Dusk for people who haven't played it. I'm just saying, Dusk is worth it. Buy it, play it. It even has multiplayer. It's like super fast and everything. Woo! Ah, why did I do that? Yeah, Dusk multiplayer. I only played Dusk multiplayer once, and everybody kicked my ass. So what can I say? Oh well, I don't play multiplayer games often anymore. Oh, we got the sword. That's a pretty cool weapon. So it's actually a ranged weapon. I love this game. It's actually so varied because it uses those primary colors. Oh yeah, so once you fill up the meter, the sword becomes that it bounces off walls, and like this is the ultimate attack of the axe. What the heck? Did I forget to activate something? Because it's supposed to rise up. What are we watching right now? This is a Medieval, another retro-style PC shooter that's not out yet that I like a lot. Because I finished the Ion Maiden demo. This is more stylistic, like I said. Oh wow, I died! I died! I don't remember dying in this game. Oh no, this is the beginning. No! Alright, I don't feel like this anymore. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But either way, I recommend this too. So I recommend Ion Maiden, a Medieval, and Dusk. I like all of those games. I think they're cool. Dusk, of course, is out, the full version. So you can play that right now and play multiplayer. That gets my full seal of approval. In a way, I feel sort of sad that they're being sold as retro games, because to me, it's all of them have retro visuals in some style, and I understand that it's just easier to say yes, retro stuff, but to me it's the designs that I long for. It's design philosophies that were abandoned, and I like going back to those design decisions. I think those 3 games both nail the designs, the old school designs, in a very different way. So it's not like they're all the same. I think each one of them is very different. They have their own sort of strengths, and yes, I personally have already paid for all 3. So like I bought all 3 of them before before they were available, and I'm waiting for the full version. Good point. What would be fit in category? I don't know what would be fit in category. I guess there are retro style shooters. When I think people say retro in video games, they mostly feel graphics. It may be related to budget issues, of course. Those sort of style things are easier to produce by smaller teams, which is what those games are. Remember, like when you saw Duke Nukem 3D or Quake credits, there was only a handful of people, usually less than 10, which is of course not what AAA. Superficial giant rectangle pixel art is easy. No, it's not. Sorry, I don't agree. I play a lot of indie games, and I know a lot of indie game developers, and I know that it's not easy to produce retro art either. Nothing is easy. The thing is what's possible. Like, I just played the Resident Evil 2 remake demo, and of course, I feel like a team of 10 people just to make that demo, that short piece of the game with the mansion and the thing, they wouldn't be able to do that in any. It would take them, I don't know, a good year to just produce that little chunk of that game. Just assets wise, you know, like when you somebody spent like I don't know, a week probably, or at least a few days modeling those guts in that cutscene where you drag a guy from underneath the door. They were so detailed and stuff. Is it cool? Undoubtedly. I thought the game looked incredibly detailed and just everything about it. I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan in the world. I've only played 3 games, but I thought the remake looked incredible. But of course, to me, it doesn't matter. It's what matters. It just matters in a different way. I sort of prefer the old school design decisions, and if it's at the expense of graphics fidelity, then yeah, why not? I don't mind. And again, this game has a normal mapped weapon sprite. That's cool to me. How many people and how long did it take to do that? I mean, I don't know, but probably less than it took the Resident Evil 2 remake team to model those guts. Both of those things are cool in their own different way. It doesn't matter to me that this this is a sprite and I can see it shimmer when it moves. It really doesn't. In fact, it adds to the thing. All the things that are appropriate. I don't think making anything is easy. Making a thing is easy. Depends on what thing. I don't think making anything is easy. Never mind making a good thing. Making a bad thing can be hard too. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy who, despite having nostalgic in my name, I don't think all old games are good. In fact, I think most of them are kind of bad. Just because of how it is. Generally, we remember the select few, while there are thousands and thousands of titles that are not. And things do not age objectively well either. You just saw me die in a first-person shooter. Happens. My fault, of course. I was distracted and I'm drunk. Don't let me have any more drinks. I'm probably not going to have any more. But yeah. I guess I'm going to end this at 1 o'clock my time, but let's see if I can just start just to see how just to show you how different the environments are. Because it uses textures and colors. 9% of everything's craft, 10% is awesome. True in the 90s, true today. That's about right. It's the same thing. I love the
Champion.
Woo!
Hone your skills. More worlds will be open to you soon.
Forge. This is like Loom.
Warrior, prepare thyself. They come.
This game really uses colors well, and it's limited textures and everything.
Double kill.
Crap, now I can't read the chat.
Double kill.
Difference, we remember good ones, past times, bad ones, always forgotten. Yeah, pretty much. Or like our nostalgia blinds us. That happens pretty much.
Double kill.
Nostalgia does blind people a lot, which is why it's important to sort of like replace it and objectively judge them. Well, that didn't last long. Let's see here. finished Resident Evil 2 a few days ago. I can only say, oh, this creators really understood what the original was. Yeah, I got that idea just from the demo. So I was Ion Maiden also doing announcement work for this one, or is she the player character here too? I think the Dave Oshry of Devolver and Frederick Schreiber of 3D Realms are friends, so they sort of like help each other out in pushing the publicity for both of those retro shooters. So hey, why not? I think it's cool that I've been waiting. You know what? I've been waiting for a long time. Like when this old school shooter started coming back for a while, they were all sort of Wolfenstein corridor shooters, and honestly, there were so many. Like about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Ooh, too much bourbon. But there were so many at the time, and there's just that much of corridor shooters you can have. There's a bunch. Yes, and to me that was not quite that. I wanted the Doom level, and especially the Quake level. To me, like, I know people always rag on people always rag on Sandy Peterson these days, but I think his Quake levels are nothing short of amazing, just because they're just so like here's a 6 degree of freedom engine, and we're just gonna make impossible spaces that don't make sense. Like the Tower of Despair is like one of my favorite first person shooter levels ever. It's crazy, and that was sort of lost when shooters went towards the realistic level design in the early 2000s. I guess like something that I would say still follows the old school combat system but is modern. I'd say one of the last games is, I would say, Monolith Fear, where it has its weapon management and everything. Well, structurally it's very much a Half-Life clone. Like you go to scripted sequence to scripted sequence, the way the random encounters play out and the way that you use your weapons is very classical, but yet its levels are those office buildings and corridors. Its levels didn't the levels didn't matter in Fear as much. We were just in a box with walls, so every time the enemies were randomized and everything, and you would use the slow motion to go around and shoot things, it would be cool. But that would be like the last time I've played a first person shooter and enjoyed it in that way. I do enjoy impossible spaces. Duke Nukem 3D was that, even though it pretended to have realistic levels. Like, let's face it, like all of those build engine games where they were like, oh, it's a city, it's a farm, it's China, Japan, or Asia, of Shadow Warrior or whatever else. They were all very abstract spaces, like sort of design wise, and I missed that level for a while. So even when the old school shooters were coming back first as indie shooters, I didn't get that. So basically, John Romero style won out in the original Doom, but Tom Hall style won in the long run. I don't know. I mean, look at Tom Hall's only brush with the. No, see, I don't agree with that actually. Yes, it's. I know Tom Hall intended to do realistic bases and everything in Doom, but look at look at Rise of the Triad. There's anything abstract and crazy, it's that. And then look at levels in Anachronox, which is not a first person shooter, but look at how these spaces are designed. By the way, Anachronox is not a DOS game. This is like a not DOS stream. Anachronox is the best game nobody played. If you haven't play. It's an RPG. It's a JRPG clone. It's a Final Fantasy VII wannabe. But if you haven't played Anachronox, buy it, play it. Honestly, I know it's antiquated in many ways now, but Tom Hall's writing and just generally how that game comes together, and consider that it's made on the Quake 2 engine, it's quite an achievement. In fact, I think it's the best thing that came out of the best thing that uses the Quake 2 engine is Anachronox. It's the best game. Very emotional, really cool. I recommend it highly, and I think out of all things that Tom Hall has done for PC gaming, um, I I think Anachronox is his masterpiece, in a sense. That's when so many things come together, and also the best thing that came out of Ion Storm. Yeah, listen, I have your Deus Exes and whatever. Yeah, Deus Ex is cool, and all of that. But I am personally very much in favor of the underdog, which is Anachronox, which nobody has played, but I recommend it highly. All right, let's look in the chat. Too much bourbon takes another sip. Well, yeah, of course. Here, I'm just basically getting hammered right now. So ask me any questions. You have, I don't know, I don't know. I'm sort of starting to get a second wind here, but if you want any honest answers to any Dust Nostalgia related questions, ask now, because I'm feeling it. I'm a little surprised that Anachronox got no attention. I think it just came out a little. I mean, like everything was. Ion Maiden was done, and was a genre that's essentially unpopular for PC. I mean, like how many JRPGs wannabes you could name on PC these days? It's like almost the same time. Septerra Core by Monolith, published by Monolith, not great, and Anachronox. Like nobody cared. Nobody cared, and there was no like publicity. IDOS didn't give it any publicity either, so like it wasn't very well advertised, which is why I think it's the best game nobody played, because there was no advertisement. Most people who have played Anachronox discovered it later. Like that's a real definition of a cult classic, and now it's available like on GOG and maybe on Steam too. It's worth it. It's great writing, not the best gameplay. The combat, especially by the end, gets really grinding. But I guess like I don't play too many RPGs. My best friend was here a couple of years ago. He played for like Super Mario RPG, and while I thought the writing was hilarious and everything, by the end of it, it felt like it was pretty grating just to fight all the like a low level enemies. Same with Anachronox. By the end, it gets pretty grindy, and you just sort of get through the motions just to get to the story. But Anachronox, I don't even want to like give any of those things like why should you play Anachronox? A whole planet, a bureaucratic planet can be your companion, and there are cinematics and Quake 2 engine like you've never seen before. I don't want to say any of this just because I don't want to spoil the surprise. Like if you trust me, if you've been following me, if you've been watching my channel and following me on Twitter for a long time, I do recommend Anachronox. Spend whatever a few bucks on it on GOG. Yeah, you may not like it in the long run. Who knows? Take that chance. Take that leap. I feel that if you are into whimsical things and creative things, and you want to see a big budget 3D game done by those one of the old school id guys, probably the more creative, more writery of all id guys, right? This is like id Software is in a way like Beatles. They all had their own strength, and they came together and they did those works that are sort of very seminal works. And once they split up, they all sort of had their own style, and none of them achieved this greatness on their own. But you can see the things. You can see what Tom Hall had to bring to the table, because back in those days, what it was like, his contributions were some designs and the maps and some text that nobody read in those games, that nobody cared about. But once we moved to more story-based writery stuff, you know, like Romero can write, Carmack can write, but Tom Hall can write. And how do I know that? Anachronox. So that's that. Oh, what's that supposed to mean? You want me to talk about Wacky Wheels? Wacky Wheels is a substandard Mario Kart clone that everybody played on PC because people who didn't have Super NESs couldn't play it. But last time I tried capturing the footage of it, I needed about I don't know, 5 minutes. I ended up capturing like over half hour. So obviously it's good. What can I tell you? Frame rate is low. Hedgehogs. Yeah. Wacky Wheels. That's all there is to it. It's a fun DOS classic for a reason. Simple game. Very easy to pick up, easy to play. Oof, I'm getting progressively drunker. I don't know. Should I stream something else? Oops. I have no clue. The hedgehog on the toilet is pretty funny because he's reading the newspaper. I feel like I'm sitting here in silence. I don't know what I should do. Oh, God. Oops. Any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to go on your shirt? Not on DOS. Sadly. I don't think there are any good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games on DOS. There are games. There are TMNT games on DOS. But I can't think of any good ones. New World's coming soon. That's pretty funny. It's also very much a shareware. Register your shareware. I play. Old arcade port was doable. Old arcade port of what? Getting some dust and salad behind the scenes. Let me put it in proper aspect ratio so you can see what my config looks like. Pause it when you're watching the recording of a stream to get some tips. Ooh, it's cold today. Polar vortex is covered in the United States of America. Okay, let's see here. Wasn't there like a DOS version of the NES TMNT, but it wasn't complete because of that? Yes, there was. Sorry, it's cold. There was, but the European version that came afterwards fixed that, so you can beat the European version. Oh gosh, what kind of file browser were you using? If you're thinking of Windows, it was Total Commander, which was a Norton Commander clone, which is what I was using in the DOS. Been using bi-panel orthodox file managers for like my whole life. They're great. Hi Pantera. I'm sort of down with games, just taking questions. something about Amiga? Don't care. Everybody knows where this is from, right? Is it Norton Commander? Yes. Yeah, bi-panel Orthodox file managers make sense. To me, they're fast. It's all about keyboard shortcuts. And to me, that's faster than anything you can do with a mouse. I use Total Commander on modern machines, Norton Commander on DOSBox, and Volkov Commander on my vintage machines because it's like 100 kilobytes of assembler. And it works. I have IDEA PS2 Model 30, which is an 8086 processor. So needless to say, that takes forever to do anything, and yet Volkov Commander works great on it. It's fast. It's really fast. Just, I know every time I post a video of like my authentic DOS machines on YouTube, people are like, "Oh, you use like a file manager or whatever." Like, I don't care. Like, honestly, like those things make your life easier and they're very efficient. Why wouldn't you use it? If you're like me, who installs a lot of DOS games and use a lot of old software, old machines and new machines, bi-panel or DOS file managers just make perfect sense. My nose is stuffed. I've seen so many times. I've seen so many times I'm crying. People use them back in their own time. That's true, but I use them today. Like I use Total Commander now, and I'm not complaining. I think I can do anything in Total Commander faster as far as file management goes than anybody who just uses Windows, who uses mouse and Windows Explorer. I want to do a challenge. Like, we're going to do a competition. Somebody will set up moving files from that location to that main directories down here, and we both do it at the same time, and I'm convinced I'm going to do it faster. It's justified to use them when deliberately old school setup. Well, yes, obviously, but I think it also, bi-panel Orthodox file manager is just good for file management if you're used to its functions. If you know what the shortcuts are, you don't have to think about them. If you use them, then yes, because two keystrokes is faster than you moving your wrist with selecting something, and even faster than moving your wrist and selecting something with the key held down. Just faster. To me, it's all about efficiency and habit, of course. This music takes me back to circa 1991. If you had the sound card this good in 1991, I envy you, you rich bastard. But good for you. Roger Wilco 98. God, Roger Wilco in 98. That doesn't make sense to me. Roger Wilco, 80s, 98. I remember what I was doing in the summer of 98. Like, to me, it was like a decade apart. But still good. So I was like, one of my friends Amiga Dome says it's tracker music. So yeah, it does sound a lot like Amiga music. Alright, chat. I think I'm drunk enough to not be to be capable to play any games, so ask me stuff. I guess I'm gonna wrap it up at about 1:30 my time, so 15 minutes. So this music would have been played through hardware on the Viva and software. No, this is all software. On Amiga it was done with hardware. But it does. This was all software. I guess on Gravis Ultrasound. Gravis Ultrasound did it in hardware, but other PC cards did not. Actually, give me 1 second. Write me questions. I'll answer them while I'll come back. I just have to blow my nose. It's so bad. Remember, I sneezed like a million times. Like, but I just feel bad. Let me put some cool music on. Crap. Let's see. Oops. No, I know what that is. This doesn't support the XM format? Crap. Hey, script check. Really? Bite the bullet just gets next to play. I have it for Windows. You guys think I'm all kind of like dinosaur or something, but that was a big box collection for DOS. It's not particularly big. I only moved to the States 15 years ago, which is when I started collecting. So it's not. So it's not big, and these days it's so expensive to get anything. I basically don't bother. I have some stuff. I have some stuff that people sent to me, for which I'm very grateful. And that's it. I just like to have the stuff I have. I bought some stuff that I have. But I have no interest in collecting because I just don't have these resources. I'm fairly poor. You know, I don't live in the street or anything. I don't have money to spend on box games when people are asking like $500, $400 for fully boxed games. So I've been trying to get a box copy of Lollipop. You've been trying to get a box copy of a German platformer. Good luck with that. Anyway, I'm gonna blow my nose up. We'll come back. Listen to this awesome classic song by Quasar. The classic Impulse Striker. Oh gosh, that's better. Found my compact Rosario. It still works. Great. I think I have. Consider this a bit of an exclusive, Joe Lesko. Funky Stars. Yes, this is a thing. I can't do it full screen because it doesn't work quite as well on Windows 10. Actually, let me see what it looks like in here. Steam. Let me close that. If I make it full screen, Windows 10 kind of freaks out, but this is the same thing. This is 2006. This guy Joe Lesko made this Blitz Basic program to match this music, the song that you just heard, and it's all done using almost exclusively. It's done using the circle command of Blitz Basic. It's really cool. Okay. Ask questions, do whatever. I'm in until I guess I finish this, because 3 days will be too much for me. This basic. Modern basic derivatives can be pretty impressive. Language doesn't matter. Language never did matter. It's what you make with. Tools are not as important as the result. Iron Seed, oh gosh. I think in Iron Seed I'm drawing a blank. Don't know what it is. Sorry. I love this. I'm doing this so long. Some fun stuff with basic recording. I did like a Raycaster Wolfenstein-like thing in QBasic a long time ago. Gosh, those were the days. I'm thinking 2006 is like fairly recent, but we're in 2019 now. Oh gosh, I'm drunk. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Yeah. Okay, here's your last chance to ask questions. Whoa. I seem to have disconnect one of my external drives. Oh, no. There we go. I reconnected it. Hope you don't have to work in the morning. Not in the morning, but I do have to work at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Also, who cares? I'm a professional. Remember this? Yeah, why not? How far have we come in 20-something years? The Lemmings people. Love this song. See you, Arnie. Always sort of regretted that they dropped this song. You know, I think it's two people who did the entire soundtrack for Grand Theft Auto 1. It's two Brits who did the entire raid. The shooters don't exist. It's just the two Brits who did the entire soundtrack. It's so diverse and incredible. It's crazy. Can you believe the Grand Theft Auto franchise is like 22 years old? Alright, 5 minutes to ask me stuff.
From the police and my dad used to say, but now he's he got caught in a jam. To win the gap with the cops and roughness and kill another man. Cheap knowledge was my main game. To figure out the law, to figure out the frame. Just when I thought I knew justice, a cop on me said, you just been busted.
Now, I kept the stream first free, but here we go.
Don't fuck with me.
That was crazy, Brits. We've beaten Ion Maiden. I don't want to play Ion Maiden for more than 10 minutes. So a Russian pride and everything, but wow. Oh no, I missed the beast. Hold on. PG-13, you loved one. Oh fuck. Woo! I think GTA 2 is objectively a better game, but I spent so much of like late 90s. Oh, it's a beast! Oh well. Actually, I hate that first mission. Two yellow caps for a bank job. It's very expensive, and people always complain about this when you're not playing. It's the constant zooming in and out that messes with you, but when you are actually playing, it's not as bad because it adjusts to your direction. When you're not controlling, you don't get that. It's Retro City Rampage, or was it Hawaii Shakedown? I like Retro City Rampage, kind of. Especially the DOS version. Back when Grand Theft Auto was about student cars, is it about student college? Really? Because I live in Hawaii, so So you think some dude from the West Coast? Oh wait, is Brian Provinciano Canadian? Knows what it's like to be in Hawaii? I don't know. Oh no, it's another... crap. You really need to memorize that map that came from this game. My car's dying. It's gonna be like oh god, missed the beast again. Oh, where you go? It's like every time I see movie footage of Russia. It's not exactly what Russia is like. It's 1:30 now. I think I should be going. Oh, alright. Ooh, let's kill a couple. I did not say that. Actually, this is a better car. Freeze! Woo! You know what's the best car in this game? A cop car! Where are you? Yeah. Oh yeah? What are you gonna do? Whoa! Whoa! Oh no! I'm busted! Are you kidding me? Oh well. Either way, that's that. Thanks everyone for stopping by. I hope you like my my musings on modern retro shooter revival. I hope you asked all the questions that you wanted to ask and everything. Thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you next time. There's more Das Nostalgia content coming. I was working on a bunch of it today, and see you next time. Take care.